What is going on, All Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it does not matter what you drive as long as you're having fun doing it. And I got to say, new sponsor to the channel. Well, I won't say they're not new to the channel, but White Knuckle Off-Road Products is back to the channel as a title sponsorship. They're going to sponsor some videos as well. And guys, go over there. If you need anything, rock sliders, they're actually starting to produce bumpers as well, which I'm very, very happy to see because I know, Mark, you have a set of White Knuckles, man. Their quality, I think, is pretty damn good. If they turn what they do in rock sliders into bumpers, I think it's going to be pretty amazing. But thank you, White Knuckle, John and Natalie, for sponsoring the show once again. So what is up, you two? It's I feel like it's only been like a couple days since we last seen each other.
Yeah, we spent so much time together this week.
I don't even know what day it is. So
right. So tonight we're going to talk about SEMA, and there's a headline that I won't say it's a headline. It's a social media post about something that kind of got under my skin a little bit. That I think there's a generation don't understand what SEMA is, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But first off, it's a blizzard here in Middle Tennessee. We had upwards of 2 flakes of snow.
Yeah.
No, we actually, if it would have been cold, the roads would have been cold. We probably got a 1/2 inch of snow today. You guys more north than us, but we actually got quite a bit of snow.
Yeah, it was blowing pretty hard. I mean, when I sent you guys that video this morning, it was just kind of flurrying, but it picked up pretty hard really quickly as it came blowing across the office today. I was like, holy crap, like there's some legitimate snow around.
Yep. Hey, who is this person? I'm Bridal Bronco.
It's me.
But yeah, so I mean, luckily, Mark, I guess you had to go in today, but Jess, you get to stay home. And great thing about staying at home is you don't drive in the mess. The bad thing about staying home is you don't get to call out for driving in the mess. Like you have to stay at home and work. I know it kills Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't really matter unless I lose power or internet. Like I don't have a whole lot of excuses not to be at work.
Yeah, and you really can't do. It doesn't work well doing that whole video chat when you're trying to do that. Because they see your head. Like, what's this crazy people doing, man? There's no bad phone connections. But anyway, so yeah, tonight we're going to talk SEMA, man. If you guys saw something from SEMA, put it in the chats, man. Let's talk about it and see what you guys thought about it. We spent 3 days in Vegas with 1 day of full coverage. And we were trying to sneak in. We were trying to sneak in, which we did sort of sneak into the early booths. And I will say I was amazed how I won't say how lack of preparation, because these things are planned months and months in advance. But we went in there. It was probably noonish, little afternoon when we were walking through there, and people were scrambling, putting shit together. The bottom floor that we went through, I think the tires is where we all walked through all the tools and stuff that day. It looked like a war zone. And then the very next day, about the same time, it was just lights, camera, action, man.
Cleaned up. Yeah. And I was surprised because I know they start getting in there Friday, Saturday, and they literally had giant crates on the floor, pulling out racking and lights and wire. It was like watching a concert get set up. I mean, there's so much activity behind the scenes. And then for us to come back the next day and it be, I mean, we were all kind of like grouping on a couple different manufacturers, but
right.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see how quickly they turned essentially was chaos into an organized show.
Yeah, the secret behind that, a lot of people might not know, is there's a company called Freeman's. They do tons of their business is to set up these trade shows. So I dealt with them for ages. I actually used to deliver cars to Cobo Hall in Detroit for the Detroit International Auto Show when it was done there. And it's all like organized and orchestrated down to the T. We've seen it in some of the shows that we've done on the timing when you have to be there, but those guys do an amazing job. And it's like you said, from what we saw, not 12 hours earlier, they really pulled it together and put off an amazing show in the convention center.
Yeah. And of course, we got to see a few good booths. I thought Nissan this year did a really good booth versus what I've seen in the past of them. Because normally you see the same shipping containers they do for every auto show. It's the same boring, no money put into this, but you could tell they put some money into theirs this year. Jeep had a really, really good display. I thought better than last year, even though I liked the concept vehicles they had last year. Had some 390 stuff that was really cool. We got to see the two honchos, which was really fun. You guys got to experience lifted minivan life. So Grizzly or whatever they call that concept, that was kind of fun. And then just like seeing, I got to deal with my friends over at Novsite. Like they were very nice booth. I know our buddy Tim with the D there, he was like, it was lunchtime. I'm trying to finish up my content around this booth. And he keeps looking at his watch, pointing to his watch like, hey, it's beer 30, man. Let's go have some drinks and half done pizza. I thought SEMA's always a good time. I'm not big on Vegas, as you guys got to experience. I don't think I was being pouty, but like I'm not a Vegas guy unless there's $3 margaritas. Then I was all about that.
Yeah, that worked out.
Damn right. But like I didn't gamble any. Jess, did you? Yeah, you gambled a little bit, I think.
I think I lost $60 quickly.
Mark, how much money did you lose?
I lost his $60. Don't worry, I Venmo'd him. He's got it back.
But the last time I gambled in Vegas was 2017, and I literally come off a long overlanding trip, like a week-long overland trip. My last point before the airport was staying at the D in Fremont, and I went to get dinner. I put a $20 bill, and they had a Game of Thrones slot machine. Whatever it did 2 or 3 times, I said, there you go, Vegas. You've gotten my money. Now leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm good. Like, and I'm still good. Any highlights for you besides SEMA? I know you got the Jess, you got the weird square what was that, croissant?
It was a square croissant at the Zeppo cafe, I think it's called, in the Venetian. I don't know. I saw a reel. It looked super fun, and I was like, I'm gonna make this happen.
And it was fun. Mine was very, very good. I was very because I've recently got into croissants. Like my daughter loves French food, stuff like that. She's always like, I say she likes French food. She's not eating snails or anything like that, but she likes the bread, and so she's gotten me into that recently. But no, that was fun, and that was in the Venetian, right?
Yeah.
I like the Venetian. I like that like cool vibe they have in their kind of mall area. Mark, anything stand out super for you?
No, I mean, it's, we didn't necessarily need to walk 14 miles on Monday and traipse through every single casino on the strip. But Vegas is always a good time. We had a great time last year. I had a really nice time this year. When we go out there, I'm looking forward to SEMA. Like, everything else to me is kind of secondary. Had fun walking around and looking at stuff, but my mindset and focus out there is always, what's new, what's different that I'm going to see on the trade show. So, that's kind of where my focus is typically when we get out there.
Yeah. And I'll forget it again next year. South Hall is where you gotta get your passes, everybody. I seen some influencer was bitching on the interwebs today about they wouldn't let me in and they made me walk all the way down there. And you're like, yeah, dumbass. Like, especially when the show's going, they're just not going to let everybody sneak in and go, hey, I'm just going to get my pass. But
yeah, I dropped a pin for next year, so I can't get a new phone before next year.
Well, it was more of just getting, like, we knew getting over there that we needed to be in the South Hall Sky Bridge, but finding it is always the challenge. Like, now
Yes.
we have the waypoint of getting off at the hotel across the street, which puts us in direct line of the doors we need to go in to go get the badging. So now that we've got that figured out, last year Kelly said next year I'll make sure we get right where we need to go, and then she didn't go. So
yeah, Kelly, thanks.
Kelly's fault.
Like tonight Kelly is at a softball, our local park deal. She's had to be away for that, or she would be up here. And then she didn't get to go to SEMA this year, which was kind of a bummer. I mean, we all three had a lot of fun, but it's kind of fun when like mom is there, basically. She can mom's friend. Jess had to turn into me and
I didn't like being like
mom.
in doing the logistics. I'm good at like logistics of stuff. I'm not good at logistics of people.
People. Put us in a cargo area and then we're good. Like Jess will get us there.
Right? I found the loading docks.
Yeah. So I want to bring this up. The Mark had sent this to me, and I read it when somebody posted it, and it says worst SEMA ever. And they continue to, let me see if I think it's got their thoughts in this. It says, I can't be the only one that feels this way, right? From the takeover style burnout pit, which is like, that's what they've done for the past 15 years. They've done this burnout pit, to the cookie cutter bro trucks. Once again, that's kind of the outside of SEMA is always the the Bluetooth 4-wheel drive vehicles. Says it all felt like it was just scrolling through crappy part of Instagram. Well, was this guy even here? Because I from that, it doesn't seem like he was there. I didn't really read other than some of the people bitching with him going, yeah, this SEMA sucks. You're like, yeah, it's not for everybody. Like, I think the idea of the outside show stuff, because I don't think you really need a pass to get into that stuff. I think anybody can walk up to that. It's a trade show, right, Jess?
Yeah, I mean, that's what people don't understand. I think, it's a trade show, it's a conference. There's so much behind SEMA besides just the builds. What that organization does, for people in the aftermarket industry, it's not just press releases and news announcements and cool cars. They have educational sessions. They're teaching people everything to, from how to set up different things in their shops, like where Mark works, to even how to do social media for their stuff. Not only that, they're connecting manufacturers, suppliers, retailers. It's all networking in there, and not, just posting on Instagram. It's people actually doing business. So I think a lot of people, and maybe that's the influencer side or people that come in on Friday for the public day, they don't realize what all is happening. Not just next to the lifted bro trucks. The lifted bro trucks are cool, by the way. Like, I stood under one, like I fit.
Yeah, we both did.
Yeah. So I think, I think that part is lost on a lot of people on like what the point is of SEMA, because it has become such, I wouldn't necessarily say a spectacle, but it's an event. It's a destination. People, want to be there to show off their builds, and other people want to go see the cars. Well, there's a buyer there that's going to talk to a manufacturer from, Japan about new, leveling kits or something that might be able to come out, or, a salesman that's there trying to talk to other retailers to get his stuff in their shops. Like, that's where all the magic happens, to make sure us as consumers can get the parts we need. Yes,
100%. And I want to bring, I just found this person's Instagram, so I'm going to bring this up, and not to call anybody out per se, but I am curious what, because this person, he drifts a D100, man. I believe that is a old Dodge truck.
Yeah,
I remember, right? And let's see what the kind of people were saying. So, see, Just Jim 66. I've been going to and working car shows from 40 plus years. Any type of burnout events or allowing people to do burnouts, the lowest form of intelligence, usually creates some sort of ridiculousness. I've seen people with toddlers on their shoulders walk straight up to cars doing burnouts. Yeah, I mean, that's just some old crankety dude, back in my day. But just to your point too, is I think people think SEMA is like cars and coffee. I think there's a generation that does not understand what it is.
I would totally agree. And I honestly think it's the rise of Instagram, TikTok, and influencers. They get out there and they use their clout to get to access early. And we've seen that before, that some people get in, even though, we legitimate media badges on got, stiff armed by two very nice old ladies who said we weren't permitted to enter that hall because we weren't authorized yet.
The West Hall was on lockdown Monday
those nice ladies were, and they were fantastic. The next morning, they were holding everybody else at bay, and she was like, "Green media badges, you come in now. You come in now. Come on, I see you. I see." And, they were great.
You media now.
Yeah.
But you know what sucks about that? They're like, media gets in 30 minutes before, and you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with 30 minutes in 10 football sized fields of showroom?
I can't even get to the other side of the West Hall in 30 minutes. Like, we're limping. But yeah, I think because the Instagrammers and everything else, they get in front of specific booths with very specific builds to show them off. And they get the special access to look at new products, new lights, new, whatever that's coming out. And people get to the show and maybe they don't have access. They're just out in the Gen Pop, out front. And they're like, this is just a giant Cars and Coffee. Like, it's a bunch of, bro dozers lined up. And there's some nice one. Your Cracker Barrel BMW doing super well on the views.
104,000.
There you go. There's some really the Novesight Cybertruck that we saw. There's some really unique things out there as well, and some of the other manufacturers. Como Tire last year was outside. Mothers, Hoonigan, and all of their manufacturers. And if you guys don't know, Hoonigan Wheel Pros owns about 36 companies, be it wheels, tires, suspensions, lift kits, that sort of stuff. They had a huge display, and their own burnout pit wasn't part of the SEMA burnout pit. They had their own special thing there. But there's huge displays outside as well, calling off specialty products and builds and some manufacturers and distributors. But those influencers and those people that are just here for specific shots give a false sense to the average guy that doesn't or hasn't been to SEMA and doesn't understand what it's all about. And I think it kind of does a disservice as a whole to people that show up and maybe can't get a badge or can't get access. And then they thought they were going to see all of this manufacturing. And then because no one told them, like Jess said, that, this is a conference. This is a working conference for hundreds of manufacturers and distributors. They just think it's a big car show.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned to you guys and Tim Esterdahl with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk that, this is where dreams are and fortunes are made or lost, because there's a lot of mom and pop people who this is their one shot to get their product, whatever they think is special about it, in front of a large buying audience. And I think some of the big booths are 50 grand.
Oh,
like, this is not for cowards. Like, you got to have balls to want to, as a little guy, to want to go do something even in the smaller booths, like what Alan and them had. I think those are still 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure. And at the far I want to say it was West Hall. No, it wasn't West. Over by Nissan Central, where the Turn 14 booth is. And if you don't know what Turn 14 is, they're a distributor. So like Dave was saying, these mom and pop shops, Turn 14 was there for them to come up and say, I need you to house my product. I need you to buy from me 300 units to house in your warehouses so that a company like me or the company I work for can then access my product easily without having to order through me, because they already have the distribution, they already have the logistics side. So if I order from Turn 14, I know where it's coming from, how long it's coming from. If I have to order from that mom and pop shop, wait for them to package it, ship it, all that other stuff, like who knows when I get it. And like you said, this is where dreams are made. Like, if they can convince a massive distributor, and Turn 14 does a myriad of stuff. Their catalog is massive, but if they've got that and you can get in there, you can really jump off and your business can take off from there. So, and that's what it's about, is getting that FaceTime.
Yeah.
Well, so this comment here is like, this is kind of a weird comment because I don't think this guy even gets it either. Is everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but for me, I think it was great. Yes, there was a ton of cookie cutter builds, but for every one of those, there was something incredible. Viper Swap 240Zs, E360s, so clean that you could eat off the floor. Cumming Swap vintage rare trucks that are better than new, and even dirt late models sprinkled in there. I think SEMA is what you make of it. Ultimately, it's not every build that's meant for every person, even sorry, but I thought it was one of the most diverse years. See, but that's the point of SEMA, is not these builds.
Right.
The builds are not, those are have nothing really to do with SEMA, other than like a lot of the manufacturers, like our friends with Armadillo, they had vehicles sprinkled around. I'm sure they help offset the cost either to put it on there, or there's some, you make a deal with the manufacturer to, hey, throw your lights on here, and if it gets me into the parking area where a lot of the cars were. But it's about selling product, man. And like Jess said, it's about, they even have things now like for learning how to not be an influencer, but learning how to create your own social media content for your business. Like, because that's a skill set that a lot of mom and pops do not have. And the ones that can do it well, their businesses skyrocket because of it. So it's a great place for them to learn how to do, skills like that. I mean, the fun, it is fun to see the big lifted goofy trucks. They're not for me by any means. I've never been interested in that chromed out, what was the one we saw at Stampede? Popcorn or cotton candy.
Cotton candy. She was there. Yeah.
That bill does not speak to me whatsoever, but I can appreciate the amount of time and money that a person will put into that. But it means nothing for me personally. I look at stuff like that, not in my inner monologue. I'm like, oh man, how would you ever take this off-roading? Because I like practical things to be practical. But the show stuff, I will say, was smaller out there this year, the outdoor, but they were also doing construction.
Yeah.
If you realize, like, half of that was shut down, they had open dirt, like they were building something.
It's literally dirt piles. Heck, even entire wings of the convention center were closed for construction.
Yeah. And the last year Ford put money into this was 21. They went all out. They had GT 500s drifting out there where you could sign up for rides. I think Von Gittin Jr. and a lot of these were driving. So you could do that. You could feel the power of that car, experience it. Then where Toyota is at now, that used to be all Ford. And when Ford had that, there was no walking around. Like, it was packed, man, of display stuff. But times are changing, and the money that it costs, can you imagine what that area for Toyota cost? That's got to be 50, 80,000 easily.
Oh, easily. But I mean, Ford's booth was nothing to shake a stick at either.
No,
I mean, they had a very nice display, vehicles in there, motors and stuff like that as they showed off. I think SEMA, and I want to say, don't forget, you or Kelly said something about it. It was either Detroit or the Chicago auto shows, about how the manufacturers were kind of pulling back because there wasn't as big of a return on their investment. And I think now, in the age that we're in, where so many people do, I mean, I bet you 80% of people that pull a vehicle off a lot do something, some sort of modification to that vehicle. So, and I saw it last year when Ford released Performance Garage, that they're really trying to capture some of that market and bring it back. And the vehicles that we saw last year from Toyota, the concepts we saw this year from Nissan, they're trying to capture some of that, so they do it inside a house.
Ford's expanding that custom garage this year. They're adding the Maverick to the lineup of what you can do, and that's what SEMA, it's all aftermarket, right? So the manufacturers are there, but they're not rolling their stock Acuras to show up, like we saw some pretty cool builds from them. Not only, like you said, the Jeep stuff that we saw from Easter Jeep Safari, and the Broncos, the Roadster that they put out, the 60th anniversary special edition. Not the one you can buy, the one you can just look at. But yeah, and concept vehicle, like an off-roading minivan, you guys, like it's wild. So many things. But you know, I think there's the other aspect for us is that we go to SEMA kind of in a handful of different avenues, right? So we show up in media, and that's, you know, we do our credentials. We have to submit a whole bunch of stuff to prove that we're real people and actually doing this. But we're also kind of influencers sometimes. We do our little Instagram things and have a good time. You know, Mark is actually in the aftermarket business as his real job every day. Another prime example of this is my company had a representative at SEMA, and my company does media, like, and stuff that's used in surface finishing for metals and manufacturing and specialty products. And we had someone from my company going to talk about some new polishes and, you know, shot blasting things that we have to make things smooth and shiny. You know, and on top of that, at the end of the day, we're consumers, right? We're off-road people, we're modding cars, we're doing all the things. So like for us, I feel like, you know, the four of us collectively, it's kind of like a playground of work, play, all sorts of amazement.
Yes, and there is a lot of work to that. People don't realize that it's not all easy going, because like we all of us were stressing over, you know, we want to bring you guys the best content. It's like 5 or 6 football fields of playground. It's hard to you focus, especially when you get in there and it's kind of overwhelming, which is what these booths all want. They're all shiny. You know, that one, what was the company that you two brought home some,
Cytocrate.
Yeah.
Literally a crate company. And I've followed them for over a year now in their product line. And like we turned a corner and I was all like, holy shit, I know you guys. Like, I've been following your stuff. And then it was like, notice my giant wall of crates. Take one.
Yeah, I was totally not expecting us to like offer us a crate. And they're like good sized boxes. Yeah,
I didn't either. I just thought that was their display. I was like, well, that's a cool display.
Yeah, giant wall of crates. Like, that's kind of neat. And then they're like, here, we'll give you one. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get to this back to the house, but okay.
I know. I did not. I would have loved to had one of those, because who doesn't like free things like that? But right. I was like, there's no way I'm carrying this shit around with me.
Dave, I'm telling you, those Alpha Rex bags, thanks Alpha Rex, that were sitting in the front were perfect for carrying the Cytocrate.
I bet. Yeah. I bet.
But you don't go typically at SEMA. There's not a bunch of like giveaway swag. Like, there'll be some bags and some, you know, pens,
lanyards
and you know, small type things. But very rarely do you find companies that have like a stock of products just to hand out to random people. You know, usually it's some sort of pamphlet or brochure about what they have. So I thought it was really neat that Cyto brought that stuff.
It was probably cheaper in the long run for them to just give that shit away than it is.
I actually said that to the representative in the booth, because he gave one to Mark, and then I pouty faced because I like stuff. And then he also gave me one. And I'm like, I'm sure it's easier for you to give them to me than take them home. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to take them home.
Well, and there's Justin, who was out there, one trick pony, two trick pony, depending on which Instagram version of his Broncos you're looking at. He was out there with S-Sphere, an Israeli company, does skid plates and everything. Mm-hmm. The lighting booth across from him was all like, hey, do you want these Bronco lights? Because I don't want to ship them back. So he's all like, I guess, like, sure. So I think, and I've been to other trade shows with other companies before, that at the end, you know, I had a kayak manufacturer offer me kayaks and kayak displays. You know, I don't want to have to take this or ship it, you know.
Yeah. I like when Jess goes to trade shows because booze comes back.
I mean, that worked out pretty well. I tried to get a TV too. My company is based in New York and South Carolina, but they were actually here in Middle Tennessee, right in Nashville earlier this year doing a trade show. So I went down and, you know, met some of my colleagues, and they dragged me into the booth. But I was the only one that was local here. Everyone else flew in, so I got all the leftover, brown drinky juice that happened to be at the booth.
Yes. So we'll start out here. We literally walked into the building where there's only media for the whole 30 minutes or whatever. But I got the press release on this Raptor build they did. It was a Raptor R. They added a 3.0 Whipple on top of it, custom tuning and stuff. And they got over 900 or right at 900 horsepower.
900, yeah.
Pretty freaking amazing. Right now, people don't understand too. What's Ford doing? They're just, because they delayed the F-150 for a year, they're just throwing shit out there now of just like, hey, remember us? We do cool stuff. Because in this game,
recalls. Didn't Ford have more recalls than anybody this past year?
Oh yeah, I think you got another one in the mail the other day.
I got another recall in the mail today.
Yeah. This truck's probably being recalled right now as we speak.
Yeah.
But this is Ford's booth. If you've watched our buddy Tim with Long MacArthur, I know I seen Tim all over the Ford booth, and I had somebody comment. So Mark, I meant to give Mark the press release on the two vehicles we were going to talk about and forgot about it. And we got to the Maverick, and Mark, you've seen how we sometimes just have to shotgun blast, just like quickly. Yeah. You don't get much time, or else somebody else is on top of you in your video, which I kept doing. TFL's got a video out that I'm in half their video. And I felt bad for Andre, because I was going to talk to Andre for a minute, and he said, "Hey, dude, I'll talk to you in just a minute," but they're so gotta go. But when they were at the Nissan booth, it was hilarious that it's like, "Hey, I know that ass. That's my ass." But yeah, the Ford booth, like other than like this truck, like going, "Oh, it's 900 horsepower." Eventually, they did open the hood so you could see the Whipple, but not a shit ton to talk about. But even the Maverick, Mark, I mean, that was really cool.
Yeah.
But 300 horsepower, which makes it fun. But I had some guy eating me up in the comments of that. Why didn't you talk about the new headlights? I'm like, oh my God.
Like, dude, and you can't please that. I mean, we'll get that regardless. So we could have covered that thing, front to back, and they would have been like, you didn't mention the fact that the graphic was off by 3/4 of an inch on the left-hand side.
But we did see, what was the Jeep or whatever we saw, or it was in the lobby where you could see the printing was crooked. There was something I saw where they stitched it crooked.
Oh, I don't remember.
There was somebody in the parking lot, like, still putting decals on his vehicle.
Right, yeah.
And I walked by, and sorry, as most people know, I don't really have that much of a filter. I didn't say anything to the poor guy that was stickering up his truck, but I think I turned to you guys and was like, "Oh, that last one's really crooked."
It's hard. Like, you quickly showed me like the Maverick press release. We went over it real quick to pick off some highlights and some notes. But by the time we started filming it, and Ford wasn't ready, so they were dicking around with the truck the whole damn time, opening doors and opening the hood and closing the hood to disconnect the battery, to lock the truck. But we had to make do, because had we waited another 2 minutes, the floodgate would have opened and everybody would have been standing around and everything else. So
have patience. Like, and my point was, have patience with guys like us in there. I know there was some TFLs and some that got in there way earlier than I, for whatever reason, can. Probably Alan with Diabolical, who was in there. I know he's told me, he goes, "I would have grabbed you and you could have gotten in here." But I'm kind of the polite person that doesn't want to ruin Alan's booth. He's trying to set up, or even like Turn. We know all these people that probably would have came and be like, "Hey, they're with us, just leave them be." But is what it is. I will say Turn's booth really, really impressed me. So this is just a snippet of what they had. And the big hoof changed colors, which I think it looks way better this way.
I agree. I like the new wrap. Turn had a lot of stuff released this year. Their big announcement of all the Jeep parts that's been going like gangbusters for them. And I had seen it and I didn't even ask Cole about it, but the daggum portals that they released this year. And I don't know if you saw the pricing on those.
Yes, half price of everybody else.
Yeah, seriously, like those are.
Is it $12K, something like that?
$12,000. The big difference. I mean, they're billet aluminum. Like, I could see the machining marks on those prototypes. Like, that's a solid aluminum block. So what they're doing, where they're doing it, I don't know. but
Well, they talked about. So I watched somebody's video on
Trail Militia did a good video on it.
Well, yeah, they were there when we were there, which is why we didn't get to talk to because Trailman the Militia was like, you could see the glimmer in those guys' eyes of like, what can we? It sounds awful, and I don't know it for a fact, but it just sure looked like, what can we get for free here out of like an exchange for this video? Which I did. That's not how I approach any of this stuff. But yes, the portals were freaking amazing. I wanted to spend some time talking to them about it, but Way of Life. I don't know if you ever watched his videos. Little Asian guy, him and his wife do these Jeep videos. They've done them since the start of YouTube, man. They're amazing. They do adventure videos. He'll do a lot of stuff like SEMA, but he got to talk to Cole a little bit, and he was talking about pricing of those, and they were saying, like, the tops aren't American made,
right?
They're made. They're Mexican made, and they're bringing them. They're bringing them up, which I don't like. I'm not like, oh my god, why would they do that? But I have a feeling that's probably where they're machining a lot of that stuff too. Then.
Maybe. I mean, Bilstein shocks are out of Mexico, and everybody loves Bilstein. So,
yeah.
I mean, and that's, I'm not going to turn this political, but, it's closer to home than some of the other stuff that's being produced out there.
Yeah. No, I deal with Novesight, which is a Chinese company, and they've treated me very well.
Yeah.
They're not like, they're one of the good Chinese companies that I've dealt with where they're like very like, yes, no, we're not here just to shove everything we've got on your vehicle. Like, they will tell me no. There was something I really, really wanted, and they did tell me no. They're like, well, you can buy that. You use your discount code. And I'm like, damn it, man. I'm trying to do you a favor and me a favor here. But so I'm interested in those portals, but the only problem I have with their portals right now is through this interview, he was talking for Jeep. The Jeep ones that were on that were their portals.
Were they? Okay.
They were their prototype portals right now. But I don't know if they make them for Raptor lugs yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that would be the only thing for me, because I don't want to lift my vehicle as far as like, I don't want to tamper with the suspension, and portals, dude, are just like done. 4.5 inches.
They said 4.5 inches of ground clearance, which on top of my current lift will give me close to 8 inches of lift. So 40s, here we go.
We actually had this conversation yesterday because I was trying to heave myself up into Mark's Bronco because, the little steps aren't really steps.
You're used to your steps now, right? Because you have the Raptor style.
Yeah. I have all sorts of steps, and I have big feet anyway. But yeah, when he gave me the numbers on what the height would add if he added the portals, I was like, I'm going to need a ladder.
You have that widow ladder, don't you?
I don't know if that one's gonna work, but I do have a widow ladder now. I'm so excited about it.
Their bumpers and stuff, like, I'm real interested in I'm interested in running some of their product, which I would see. Now I have to say, look, I feel like they listen to somebody. Notice there's no badging there.
No
anymore.
badging. Dave, did you have an influence?
No, not at all. But I've seen enough people fuss about that they want to run their tops, but they don't want. That's the one thing they used to be a different company, and they weren't a different company. The family owned a different company.
Right.
I don't know if that's common knowledge, so I don't like to spread who it was, but that company, much like a lot of, it seems like Chinese companies and stuff, and even like Luke with lifestyle off-road stuff, they want their names on everything. And I don't want your name all over my shit. Like, I just don't. Like, skids don't bother me because I'm never going to see that.
Right.
But like, I would have bought their top last year when we had the red one, and I was going to buy hard top from Ford. I would have bought that top 100%. I love it. I like just enough that fastback. It's not too crazy, but I didn't want their damn name on the side of it because that's a major purchase. That's a $6,000 easily purchase.
Right. And you're not a billboard.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
the same thing as car dealerships now. Every car you buy, it's got some big sticker, big vinyl. We saw one the other day, and it was like somebody's soft top was the car dealership's name. And like, I'll tell you where I bought my car, but I'm not going to drive around town as a billboard for you.
To the flip side, though, I remember there was a guy on a forum years ago I was dealing with. He bought a Nissan Xterra, pulled every badge off of it, everything. Nissan burger off the front of the grill. I was like, what? He goes, well, they didn't pay me to advertise. And I was like, God damn, do you not have any pride of the fucking vehicle you just bought? Like,
Wow.
I get
That's a little
the
extreme.
dealership. I get the dealership. Okay. Like, yeah, but Jesus, are you ashamed of the Nissan? I mean, a lot of people might be, I don't know, depending on your credit score. But yeah, no, Turn's booth was really, really nice. Eric was out there with, I always forget, was it Trail Hunter USA?
Yep.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm learning.
Yay.
But it was nice to see Eric out there. Eric was funny because I was watching him walk around the booth a little bit, and it was like he didn't know where to be comfortable in the booth. It was day one, too. You're learning how to schmooze with people a little bit, but like Cole and his wife are just, you know, that I won't say fake smiley face, but you know, that sales like, hey, we're here to help, we're here to be happy, we want your deal. And Eric was just kind of like, I don't know where to be here.
Well, I think they had a lot of people, like they had a lot of bodies in the booth.
Yes.
So it was kind of like, you know, who's talking to who wants to see what. But, you know, Eric had his vehicle out there. He also succumbed to a second Bronco, like a lot of us have.
Well, we all have.
Yeah.
Well, he went and got a Ranger. I mean, that's kind of second Bronco.
We're not going to talk about the Ranger.
That's still a sore subject, huh?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But yeah, Eric had his Bronco out there, was in the lot. You know, he's fully outfitted. I think mainly all with Turn. So was out there not only.
He's worked with him for a long time, right?
Not too long. I mean,
really, I feel like his name, like I've always associated him with Turn.
Oh, he was doing Motley and other stuff. At some of the he represents a few different companies. I don't know who he's representing now, if he's exclusively doing Turn or still doing some of the other stuff. But you know, like at SEMA, he was there as a representative of Turn. But like say at Stampede, Eric will set up as himself and has a few other different you know, manufacturers that he'll have for sale.
Right. And what, you know, we talked earlier about, hey, this is, you know, SEMA is about guys taking chances, trying new products, and you know, can't get any newer and cooler than this thing right here. This is Armadillo Designs. Right now they're known for Bronco roofs. I have a feeling they'll get into Jeeps as well, but they're doing a full that's a full-size truck,
F450 dually.
Yeah, with a you know, a camper top on there. I will say this, it's probably not for everybody, and this is still in production or prototype stage, so it could change. But what of outside thinking, you know, looking outside the box.
And talking to Fabian, it's scalable, so that'll fit everything from my Ranger to someone's Jeep Gladiator to, you know, full-size trucks. And if you know anything about those tops, like currently there's nothing in that going, but they'll have inserts you can put in, you know, the kitchen insert or the work truck slide drawer insert, you know, utility style. So,
you know, you had to, what's the company that puts the boxes in the floor, the plastic, you know, they have the slide drawers for trucks.
Oh,
deck. Like you could do a deck now with this, and you have not lost a ton of cargo room at all.
No, yeah, that roll up top in the center, and you know, check out Dave and I's video on it. That's the number one issue with a truck topper, is the fact that you now literally limit the amount of cargo space you have, and because they've kind of cracked the code on that roll top, you can put whatever you want in there with zero degradation to space.
Which bums me out that I didn't get any better pictures than this one here. This is midday. I think I wanted to talk to, I think his name is Scott. I'm awful with names.
Scott 512 Raptor.
Yeah.
Had white
yeah.
Raptor.
I wanted to talk to him at the same point, and then I don't know, squirrel moments happened. Or Jody popped up. We all started talking a little bit. I squirreled and went somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the other hard part for us, is like we know so many people. So as much as we're there working and trying to get all the coverage, you know, for all of the viewers, we're also like, oh, hey, we're catching up with all of our buddies from across the country. Which I think is kind of amazing.
Oh yeah, but I was very impressed with this. I will, you know, we did a small walk around on that. I'm gonna, you know, hold. Initially, I thought it was cool. I don't know how. For me, the way I see the market, I don't know how practical that thing could be in the market. You know, they talked about that was their initial product, was this.
Right.
It was going to be what they came out with. And, you know, would it have taken off like the Bronco hardtop? I don't see that taking off to like start a company with. But now it's nice that they can go back to this and go, okay, now we've got steady income over here. Now let's sprinkle some things in that might be more niche. But I thought it was cool. Obviously, all their work has impressed me a lot since they've gotten out of their prototype stage, which I saw a couple years ago. And I gave them hell on some welds. I was just like, this is not good. And then Mark told me, he's like, hey, I ordered one of these. And I was like, ooh, did you not see? You know, as you want to protect your friends, you're just like, oh, did you not see that? And but then we saw him last year at SEMA, and yeah, no, it was on what the hell's their name though? The family couple, white Bronco.
Oh, Bronco.
Bronco.
Eric and Monica.
Yeah, I saw it on their stuff, and it was like top notch. And then you know, the little gold and black Bronco that we saw outside this year, he had one on his, I think last year.
Corazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's a pimp for any product that wants to put on his vehicle, I can tell.
Yeah, because he's got turn on it now. So
Yeah.
like, what do you do with the armadillo top from last year now that he's got turn stop?
Right.
Like,
well, and one of the things that's cool about Armadillo is they got their start and they're known from, I think it was a student project at SEMA. Sam and Fabian, you know, were schoolmates at college and submitted their idea. I don't know if it was the truck top or the Bronco top, and ended up like winning the award, which, you know, is another nod to what SEMA does. And so they're not only networking and all that stuff, but, you know, looking for the future of what the industry looks like. But that's where that all came from. A couple years, they won a college award, a student award at SEMA, and then figured, well, everybody liked it, let's do it. So, and it's working out for them.
Yeah, no, no, those guys they've impressed me a lot too. Now, initially, you know, the person they were working with initially that I think kind of gave me a bad opinion of them. I won't say because I didn't know them, but outside looking in going, ooh. And they've moved past that person and just like everybody, like I've seen so many tops coming out of their place in Texas now that just everybody is just like, these people are salt of the earth. They're just like amazing. And I respect them quite a bit. Their top's not for me. I like Mark's top, and definitely the quietest top I've ever seen put on a vehicle by, you know, but Mark's he's got a build for his Bronco. And that's the cool thing about it is Jess has got her ideas. Mark's got his ideas, and I can do whatever Kelly lets me do. So.
Green. She needs to let you do that green or yellow, whatever.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute too. Next up, I want to talk about is Nissan, and this is Nissan's. This is their Armada, or
Dune Patrol.
The rest of the world calls it a patrol. Why Nissan doesn't have the balls to call it a patrol here in the United States, I have no idea. Because Mark, I'm sure you've seen a few in the Middle East and stuff. You know what?
Once or twice.
There's enough military people that know what that name means, but. Is what it is, but this thing is sitting on 37s, and I didn't realize from the press release I got of this how much wide body this thing had been done. It had girthy old girl on this thing. She has some hips, and I love this back here. Look at the door.
That door.
Like, there's a handle in there.
I can't get my hand in there to do it.
Really? So I tried. I could get my hand in there, but it was a tight fit.
Yeah.
Well, I had rings on, and we were looking at it, and I was like, I would just scratch up the inside of this all the time, and they're not like big; they're just band rings, like nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Mark couldn't even no.
But the last Armada, I was gonna, before you guys knew me, I was gonna buy one and build into something like this, and obviously not going to Windrock or smaller courses, but just adventuring around the country. I thought it would be nice and fun, and when I see stuff like this, I'm like, damn, I need to get back on some full-size off-road plans, man, because the color looks great, minimal design, but it gets you across what it is. Them big old Geolander tires on that thing, man. I love they're showcasing their Nismo wheels, which I think I think you guys, you might not have been, it might have been me and Allie and Tim talking about why are they bringing in Roush wheels when they have their own, but that's a whole nother conversation. But this big old bumper, now says Nismo. This is not a production bumper by any means, but looks badass. I would drive this in a heartbeat, man. I love this.
Yeah. We spent some time over there looking at that as well. And, I was.
Well, y'all had a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, someone liked to run his mouth at the Nissan booth. Like, we're there a while.
He was networking.
Getting back in the good graces of his former employer.
Yes.
But no, that I preferred that one over their surfy, beachy
Frontier
truck.
The kayak one.
Frontier on 37s, though, I was like, that was impressive to me. Like, that's a lot of tire for a truck. But no, I don't like the surfboard concept.
Yeah. But that Dune Patrol, that Armada, like that thing, I was like, all right, like I can see this, especially open country, western portion of the United States, big desert area, that sort of stuff. Like this thing would be a beast out there.
Oh yeah, man, this would be a lot of fun. And I didn't get any pictures of the back, but it was all kitted out in the back. Of course, roof. It's got some Nismo E racks that they've put up there. The thing I want to say I wrote the story about this on the website. I'll have to look. But the thing that Nissan always does that pisses me off, they always do these fun looking concepts like this and never fall through with it. I'm sure you two don't remember. They did what they called the IDX concept. It was a take on the 510s from the 70s, which here we got to be known as the Maxima eventually. But let me see if I pull this up. This was a home run. They've had a few concepts that were just home runs. And much like, I mean, they're not going to build that big beast of a thing because that'd be $150,000 that nobody would buy because, well, it's Nissan, unfortunately. But here, let me pull these up. Maybe. I even found the old Nissan press release on this. So this was when early on I was getting into Nissan coverage when these things came out. There. I want to show. Sorry, this is where me being unprepared sometimes is a pain in the ass because I got like 15 agreements you have to sign to just look at a damn photo. Yeah, dead air. It's great.
There's an awful lot of swearing going on when Kelly's not there, David.
I know, damn it. All right. So this was the IDX concept. Dude, that's a home run. And so this came out in like 2014, somewhere in there, 13, 14. Dude, can you imagine how far ahead of you are of everybody else with this kind of retro looking, futuristic looking car?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
They built it. These were built on Sylvia chassis, which were the 240Zs here in the United States. But freaking amazing. I can see that in the showroom.
Yeah, 100%. And that rally one in the back, like,
oh yeah,
I could totally see that.
And just never had the balls to do it.
It's we did a market analysis or we did a study group of what was what, and it didn't market well, so we shelved it or didn't have the money at the time. So
part of their problem with it was the guy that designed it left for Cadillac. But it's still their design. It's not like Christ, they couldn't make the damn thing. But yeah, so just and what it is in these big auto manufacturing companies, when certain management rolls in, they don't want to take your win. They want their own wins, and well, it wasn't going to be somebody's win there. So that's why that car never appeared. But I want to show one more photo of this thing because, dude, I was back in my little Nissan days. I was so hyped for this car and would have sold something to own this car. Yeah, but that just looks, man. That's just fun looking. And you could have put a 4-cylinder in this, whatever. It didn't have to be some big V6 or anything in it. People would have bought that, man. 300 horsepower and a little coupe like that would have been freaking amazing. But no, that's Nissan, and I don't want to ramble too much on them. But that I thought the Armada looked great. I thought their booth was nice. When we were there, Chris Forsberg, who is big to Nissan for some reason, I know he's in the drift world. For some reason, they have this boner that he's this off-road guy. And it's funny. in the Nissan community, they've been putting Titan V6 or V8 engines in Xteras and Frontiers for 20 years now. And when he did it, it was like, oh my God, this guy invented all this. And you're like, what? Anyways, but that was a concept from 2 years ago, I think they did. Anything sticks out of y'all's mind from the show that we should I've got a couple more photos, but this the Bumblebee. I gotta show you this one.
The Bumblebee.
Yeah. Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna.
Best top build.
Yeah.
I thought this was pretty damn cool. It's a color that I was actually looking at wrapping Kelly's Bronco, so that kind of won me over a little bit. And you like the fenders on this, Mark?
I do. I've got a redesign of my build coming in the next 6 months or so. So I do. I like those fenders. If Ford would release the two-door Raptor design, I would go with that in a heartbeat. But like so much else, it'll get shelved after they dangle it in everyone's face. So, but yeah, I do like that look. Those bigger kind of Raptor-y style fenders. Overall, I mean, I thought that entire build was pretty nice.
I want to say these are they're 40s.
40s, yeah.
Yeah. Freaking ridiculous. I feel sorry for the transfer case and everything under it, but they did it.
Well, hopefully, I mean, you go to 40s, you need a regear. So let's hope that they're on portals, get a little reduction of So but
I like this quite a bit, man. It showcased I know Kelly's because we're going to do, if you guys don't know, we're going to do a complete color change on the Raptor for Supercell, and yellows like this were interesting to me, and it just shows you can break up yellow and it's not too crazy. I thought it was pretty good.
And our friend Matt, Tatsquatch, I mean, his is a big yellow truck like that, broken up with some blacks and some other colors and stuff like that. So
yeah, his is cyber orange.
Is it?
Maybe. And Bill's was
school bus yellow.
School bus yellow, safety yellow.
Yeah, which is way better.
Broke up the white.
Let's just call it yellow.
Not bad.
No.
And I seen that I think this was a white vehicle because I saw the girl that owns this. I like a before and after. I thought it was really cool. I think it was on Instagram that I saw that.
Yeah, there was one of them we were looking at. I don't remember which one it was. We were trying to figure out what color it was. And it was what? Oh, that was the sparkly, I think the Rough Country. Was it a Tundra? No, it was a Chevy. This is Silverado out in the parking lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind.
Oh, that was that the one they polished?
No, it had a sparkly
pearlescence.
Yeah.
Wrap.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I remember
Rough
that now.
Country truck topper.
Yeah. And finally, this bad boy right here.
Oof.
This, me and Mark were just lusting.
Yeah, I can feel you boys sweating already just looking at the pictures.
This is what I want a Bronco to be. This is what I want a Wrangler to be, or a Gladiator, whatever you want to call this thing. Me and Mark, I haven't released the video yet, but we talk about this as they can build this.
Yeah, it's literally it's on a Gladiator frame, a chopped Gladiator frame. If they released that, they would sell them by the thousands.
I'm sure we'd have one in the driveway.
I mean, I would lose the Ranger for the Honcho.
Dang, a Honcho would take the Ranger, huh?
Yeah. I think, and whenever you release the video, I mean, we talked about the full 4-door Honcho concept and this true 2-door one. I mean, it's great classic styling, had all the fantastic throwback kind of pieces to it. But it's like you said, if Bronco was to step up and do this, same thing. I think it would be a home run.
Well, Bronco really has. I know the Gladiators from the ¡60s and stuff that Jeep sort of. It didn't look like a Wrangler or I guess a CJ, whatever they called them back then. But if Bronco were to they can do this, and it might save the 2-door Bronco in general, because I feel like the 2-door is going to be dead at some point. I think Ford will kill it off, and then Jeep goes, yeah, we're not selling many either, and suddenly there's no more two doors. But I think if they were to build vehicles like this, build it on a two-door chassis, however you have to do it. I think it stays around. You know, the problem I had with the Gladiator was the bed. It was short as far as the actual bed goes, which I never overcapacited it, but it definitely was not as usable, and it was just oddly shaped. It's way long. It didn't have to be. I think Jeep felt like if it didn't have a 5.5-foot bed with the tailgate down, like, oh, they'll never buy it. No, there was a crowd for that. Clearly, when people were converting the old Wranglers, AEV did a kit that you can convert those. Like, people were doing it. So there's a market to this, but we're in this weird market now of it. You need to take some chances, but everything has to have a build buddy. They all have to be shared platforms. They can't, it's hard to be super unique because super unique's not affordable.
Right.
But yeah, you build this and you do it. Do not do a Rubicon version. Just don't do it at all. There's no reason for that. Let Jeep builders will do it how they want anyways. But you do this in a $35,000 to $45,000 pickup truck like this, roll up windows. I mean, you don't get anything other than airbags. Dude, home run. It's a home run.
Well, and I think I like the way this looks. And as a lot of people might know, I am not a fan of how the Gladiator looks at all, because I feel like, I think they're all 4-doors. It looks like an afterthought. It looks like they took a Wrangler and took the spare off and glued a bed onto it, and they're like, all right, we're good. But this looks like an actual, mid-size Jeep truck. Like, let's do it all day.
Yeah. And you put the 4-cylinder in it, the little turbo 4 they have. We're not doing the V6, even that engine's probably going away anyways. But I'm telling you, man, 300 horsepower with a little 4-cylinder like this, now you've got room to make it a hybrid. The whole 4xe, you have some places you can tuck batteries now under the bed to do that as well. Though I do believe 4xe is about to die. Some things I heard today that I have a feeling that experiment's going away. But Mark, where would you see, if as we see it right now, what do you think a price point would be on this? Retail,
I think it's going to be 45 to 50.
Yeah.
Just knowing the market, because to me, like size wise, close to the Ranger, that sort of thing, that kind of, size vehicle, what price pointing and everything else is. I easily think that runs anywhere from mid 40s to mid 50s, depending on, how you option it.
Yeah. But like I said, I wouldn't, there's no fancy to this to me. To do it, you just don't get a power. I mean, you need for backup camera, you'll have a monitor in there, and you got people want a modern radio. But past that, I'm telling you, man, like even if they sold 20 to 30,000 these years, and then you sell on top of that another 20, 30,000 2-door Wranglers built on the same chassis, dude, that's a no-brainer to me. But I like this. I thought they had a really good booth. Obviously, I'd seen most of this stuff before. They didn't break anything out. No, there's no revolutionary new concepts.
Yeah.
Jess did get a t-shirt.
You're not supposed to tell anybody. I did get a t-shirt with, of the dude. I think it's still in the pile of stuff we haven't unpacked.
Oh man, your dude's hiding.
I mean, it didn't have a Jeep on it, so I was okay with it.
Well, okay. Final picture from this, which is me and Jess under this goddamn monster truck vehicle.
Working hard, hardly working.
That's right.
Really standing up, and my head was just under the lip of the bumper there. And I am 5'5", so that's how tall that truck stands.
I like you have the fashionable pose, and I'm like Sling Blade.
Sling Blade.
I like mustard on my biscuits.
Yeah, potatoes.
But I saw someone trying to get into one of those builds. He had like a 24-inch drop hitch on the back with a plate, and he had to step on that and then crawl up into the bed and then come up and then down to that step on the side of the bed that everyone has now, and then open the door and then step down onto his drop step and then get into the truck. And I'm like, that it's just too much. Like,
Yeah, just get a little step ladder. It slides out behind the seat and then set it up.
Damn it. All right, stupid internet.
Oh
So
no!
I was trying to bring up the office parkour sketch while you were talking about that, and because that's what it reminds me of, doing parkour, trying to get into one of these vehicles. I mean, you can just use the wheels here as ladders and walk right up.
And they're cool, and they drive them out a lot and put them on a trailer and take them back to wherever they're going. So
they got to take those wheels off of them.
Yeah.
I love that cotton candy's next to this and looks like a normal sized Bronco.
Right?
Just looks tiny as can be compared to this thing. At no purpose or reason would I ever want this. I like looking at this stuff, obviously the work put in this, but just crazy that you take basically a $80,000 to $100,000 vehicle and then you put $300,000 under it that can't make it drive any better. Probably in most cases is worse. You can't take it anywhere, but you got a piece of art.
It's one of the things we like, and you mentioned it at the start of the show, Dave, like, for us modding our vehicles, it's not about the show, it's about the function.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons, like, Mark and I really appreciate, some of our Instagram friends, the Bronco Adventures. We've talked about them before. Their truck's been at SEMA, 2 or 3 years now, and they have a Bronco. They've done all the work themselves. It's like fully carbon fiber now. And they do it all at their house, and it's not even, it's an apartment garage.
Yeah.
And seeing
the carbon fiber, the Asian couple that built, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mark had posted some pictures while we were out there. But it's one of those things, like, they're just regular folks like the rest of us, but they do car shows with that all the time. They win awards. It's super cool. I love seeing them win stuff, but they also wheel it. Like, they're actually doing stuff with it. And,
looks nothing like it did when they bought it. Cause I think it was like was it not outer back. I forget what it was.
Big bed or outer bank. Yeah. It wasn't
a lower
end model or something like that. And like I said, they reached out to companies and learned like that. She does all the electrical wiring, and he taught himself how to like cut and shape carbon fiber plates. Like, the stuff is crazy. And like Jess pointed out, they literally do it in an apartment garage stall, like in the parking garage structure.
Like a 1-car garage.
It's not one car garage. Like, they'll pan across and there's all these other vehicles around, and they're just parked in the corner, like cutting carbon fiber or drilling holes into something.
Because they have a YouTube channel, or they used to.
Yeah, they do, and they've got a pretty solid Instagram. They post all their stuff, but I think it's neat to see that level of care. Sure, carbon fiber is not cheap. Like, they're spending money to make it look exactly how they want it, and then they take it out and test it. Like, does it rattle? Does it break? And they drove from wherever they live in California to Vegas with the doors off because they wanted to show it with the tube doors. They're just a wild couple doing great things, with a project.
If you saw the seats are race seats, they're not a comfortable.
Oh no, they're hard plastic, and it's so loud. They've got the race headphone microphone setups and stuff.
Oh, and they had their radio sitting in there, their little handheld radios. And I was like, well, those could disappear real quick. Not that I'm saying I would steal them, but my brain's like, don't leave electronics like that just out in the open.
And I think that's, back in the day, those were SEMA builds. 4 guys in the garage, learning Bondo and body work and engine swapping, and then they reveal it at SEMA, and everyone is just blown away that 4 dudes in a garage did that. And it wasn't someone with, like you said, $200,000 in their pockets that gets a custom any level lift, custom powder coated and chromed and everything else. So no, I have a lot of respect for that couple and what they're doing. And I gave them crap at first because all I ever saw was like awards. Oh, I went to this show and shine, and I went to this one. And the more I learned about
I'm
them,
with you on that, because I never picked on them by any means, but I quit talking about them because I was just like, they initially just seemed like, what can we get for free to put on this thing? and I haven't paid much attention, but yeah, you were telling me about their story. I was like, well, that's really freaking rad that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a effort. We'll just build it ourselves.
We see that, and I might know this because as everybody knows, I'm, mainly closest to the Bronco community, but we see that in a lot of folks. Eric, Trailhunter USA, who we talked about earlier, he's brand new build out at SEMA. He taught me how to off-road, like actually did it. Brittany, one of our other friends who was out iVega, you may have seen, she's a Stardust Bronco. She wheels her Bronco all the time, but turned around crunch time, cleaned it up to put it on the floor at SEMA. And these are all folks that are, doing their own work and making it happen. They're 4 guys in a garage.
I know she did it. She did a bunch of that herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she was in, and everyone knows the story. Like she was in a car wreck and lost her original Bronco, and has this new one, and then she, got the Oracle Starlight kit, which people put in their headliner, removed her dash and drilled like 150 holes in it to put fiber optic lights.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to go in your fender wells.
It's supposed to go in your fender wells and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she drilled the pattern that she wanted because her vehicle Lyra is a Constellation. So she did a Constellation pattern and drilled, like I said, 150 holes in it, and then fed every fiber optic cable in and figured out how to run the wiring and stuff like that. And it's on her page. Like you can see her doing spray painting, and a lot of respect to people that still are doing that stuff.
Yeah, no, thank you on that. I'm.
I know. Bring me your wiring, David. Bring me your wiring.
So I take a lot of shit about that. I can do some of this stuff myself, guys. I know Mark knows what he's doing. Like I don't have to like second guess. Like did this guy really just cut it and mount it to my axle, a ground wire. Like, so no, that's why I do that. Hey guys,
want to hang out with us?
Well, there's that fun too. Before we go, I would be remiss to say you guys need to all go over to allterrainnation.com, where we have news articles there's 2 from SEMA there. I need to finish up. I want to do some final thoughts on SEMA. But I've been trying to get to once a week. It gets tough sometimes of doing this, but writing articles. Project X that I saw there, which was a major disappointment. I didn't say that I'll say that now after the fact.
I was like, wait, I thought you liked it.
I was being nice to it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that was about a half-assed done thing, but I will also say the guy did it in like 2 months. So like there's some cool stuff in there, and some friends of mine put parts in that thing. But no, it was definitely done by a guy who does not know the Xterra community nor off-road parts. But then I talked about the Raptor a little bit. But go over to All Terrain Nation. Like I said, we're not exclusive. I talk a little bit of everything there, so you might see more car talk over there as well. Talked about the new FJ Land Cruiser that I haven't even got to talk to Mark about yet, because I was curious if you saw the Japanese version of the Land Cruiser based around the Land Cruiser FJ is what they call it, but it's based on the Land Cruiser platform. But so go over to All Terrain Nation, check that out. It means a lot to me. And yeah, so there we go. We did it, y'all. We did a show.
Go!
Hooray!
Hooray!
And we could hear y'all, Mark.
Sweet. Yeah, microphone troubles. I don't know what the heck. Turn it off and back on again.
Right. Where's Kelly? Kelly is at a softball, some meeting, something for the city here. As just said, softball stuff. She's always dealing with my balls. I don't know what's going on there.
Whoa. That's the show, kids.
Now for the VIP after show. But no, in the comments below, let us know what you think. If you made it this far, please let me know. If there's something you want me to cover, please let me know. You can email me, allterrainnationmedia@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Instagram. I'm pretty easy to get that way. We have Facebook for people my age. That I actually still
that would
use
be MySpace, not Facebook.
Oh, damn it. I've got to go customize my page then.
Friendster.
Ooh, who's in the top 8?
Oh, was it a top 8? I can't remember.
Yeah, MySpace is your top 8.
For the record, I never hit MySpace.
Really?
You had to have Tom in your top 8.
I don't. Yeah, that's some old guy shit.
Dude, that was a couple years ago, I actually tried to log into my MySpace because Justin Timberlake bought it out. And
Really?
because bands sort of took it over. It was a
What?
great place to experience bands
Yeah.
back in the day. And yeah, he
Like,
bought it
yeah.
a long time ago. I don't think he probably still doesn't own it, but I am curious. Wait, before we go, I gotta know, is MySpace still around? Let's see here.
I feel like I need to fact check you.
What, on the Justin Timberlake thing?
Yeah,
Oh, you can do it.
I'm doing it.
Wow, it's like it's just a music thing now. Let's see.
In 2011, Justin Timberlake did not buy MySpace outright,
I
but
didn't say
became
bought
a
it outright.
minority investor in a joint purchase.
And then he got arrested.
Oof.
So yeah, this is what MySpace turned into. I'll see Tom. Where's
Is it
Tom?
like Napster?
Yeah. It just looks like it's for bands now. You know what sucks about that is because now with what's the little music app?
Spotify, Pandora.
Spotify. You can put your bands on that, and who cares? Like,
Yeah.
and you can make some money.
Yep.
So there you go. So that's a little bit of a history lesson with Dave and Jess. I had MySpace. She did not.
I didn't.
Check back next week when we talk about Yahoo profiles. That's going to be exciting. And
AOL.
AOL. Do you remember Who's Got Mail?
God.
But in the comments, well, let me know if you made it this far. Comments, topics, whatever you want us to talk about. DM me, whatever you want to. We'll do it. See what we can talk about it, or if there's something you want me to go cover. I'm itching to cover something. We do know a Wrangler's coming, so that's going to be kind of coming up soon. And how does Bronco react? Because guess what? It just came out today that Wrangler lowered their prices significantly. So where's Ford in that? I don't know. My $54,000 Badlands Sasquatch Bronco that's now $68,000 might get in close again. I don't know. Mark, what was your two-door Wildtrak?
Two-door Wildtrak stickered at 56.
Yeah, I remember that price pretty good.
Yeah, my 4-door was 58, I think.
Yeah. And you got carpet.
Not anymore. Now I got Armor Light flooring.
Damn right. Hey, Armor Light, reach out. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, does not matter what you drive, man. As long as you're having fun, you enjoy it. I don't give a damn what people say. Could be that lifted truck from SEMA, or it could be something lowered, slammed that tears up my roads. This has been your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, alongside
Mark
and Jess. We're new.
It's the internet delay. We're out, everybody.
Do the close.